Hey guys, welcome to the second Bugfix stream. I wanted to do a dev stream today, but I'm currently still refactoring a bunch of code. I haven't had unlimited time to work on it, so it's not quite done yet. I've been working on it about 2 hours a day, but it's changed a lot. As I've been going through this code, I've been finding a lot of issues with it. Like it's been really refreshing to go through and fix all this stuff. And I think I have a butt cut. Let's see. Let me fix my hair. Oh my god. I slept at the office tonight because there was a party, and it was just so much simpler to stay at the office rather than to go back to my apartment, which was like a 30-minute drive. Anyways, I'm probably not going to be talking the whole stream like before. Let me know if the music's too loud or anything like that, but I'll probably just play music for part of the time. Okay, so let's go ahead and announce. Alright, so that's Twitter. Let me announce in the IRC because I forgot last time. Okay. Streaming at Alright. Is this this should probably be playing, but muted. Hey Drob. Alright, how do I flip this? Alright, so what I was working on, I tried to get some of the major bugs finished this morning, but it didn't work, so we're going to do that right now. I rewrote a lot of code, and I actually had to switch. You'll have to excuse me, my throat's a little sore from last night. I had to actually switch the coordinate system for the way the chunks are stored. For some reason, in the chunk list I was storing Y as down instead of up, and that's contrary to everything else in the code. Like Y should always be up. And I think I did that as a premature optimization a long time ago, so now I've changed it, but in the process I broke a lot of stuff. I refactored probably a little too much at once, but that's okay, because as we go through and fix things, we find errors that were there that we didn't know of before. So, that's right, I was going to go ahead and delete the save data so it isn't too messed up. We'll delete region. Okay, let's run it and I'll show you what's going on. It definitely has to do with coordinates and the three-dimensional DQ that stores all the chunks. Also, you'll notice there's no stars on the main page until I hit load game, and then they appear. That's another bug I introduced by changing things, and I think it's because it's bound to the creation of the world. Okay, so nothing is here, but I can walk around. I think it's just not creating the meshes. Okay, it's not loading anything new. Interesting. I think it was working a little bit earlier, but it looks like the chunks are not shifting. So see, as I'm walking to the edge of this border, it's not extending. It's just staying in one place. And this is the shift function. There's supposed to be a shift function that shifts it. But actually, yeah, let's see if that shift function's getting called. Thanks, Mindrage. Glad you could make it. Any new stuff since last week? The only thing I've been working on is just refactoring. We have actually some new programmers though who have been doing work. I'll go ahead and pull up the Bitbucket and show you. We have a new input manager that I haven't pulled to my code yet. It's going to allow us to do key bindings, and that was made by Frank. And let's see, commits. Yeah, so Frank did that, and then Christian made a better chunk recycling system that I also haven't pulled. We still got to test those things and make sure they work. But it's kind of cool looking at this and seeing, you know, we've got multiple branches going. I'm not the only one making changes to the repository anymore. It's kind of an awesome feeling, honestly. But I want to fix all this stuff for them so it's easier for them to navigate the code, because they shouldn't have to go look through all my really poorly designed code to get stuff done. Okay, so Shift X. Let's see if this is getting called. Let's put a cout statement in here. That's the easy way. Shifting right. Okay. Alright, let's run that. Yeah, key bindings. We still have to make a menu for it. Maybe Frank would like to play around with that. I think Christian wants to delete all my bad UI code that I made. I basically made like a hacky UI system. I wasn't making a true UI library, and I thought I would just need to make a few controls and it'd be okay, but it ended up being just a huge mess. So Christian actually has his own like working kind of UI library that I think he's porting OpenGL. So we'll probably use that instead, or maybe he'll make another one. It's up to him what we do. And with that, it should be really easy to make new menus, and I'm sure Frank could probably make the menu for that. We'll see. Alright, so let's see if we are shifting. Look, now the terrain is there. Weird, huh? So I think it's possibly something going wrong on initialization. So let's pull this over. Let's actually lower the resolution. This is way too high. Yes, thank you. Alright. So right is this way. We're looking for shifting right in the command prompt. I see we have an error there, and we're not shifting right anymore. So cool. That function's not getting called, and that makes it easy to find this bug. You'll also notice that the terrain is not correct. That's, I think, is an issue with the coordinates. I think it's just generating the terrain at wrong coordinates. And, oh, you know what? Look at the physics FPS. It's frozen at 52, and I can't move the sun. So what's actually happened is the physics thread is in an infinite loop somewhere. It's stuck. So that's actually probably why we're not shifting. And I bet you I know where it is. But we can actually pause it and see where it is, because we have Visual Studio. So we have threads here. Now, the main thread is the OpenGL thread, I believe. Yes. And this thread is the physics thread, I believe. Oh! We got an error message. That's right. One thing about my error message system is they don't pop up in front of the window. They like pop up behind it. And I'm used to using Windows errors, and I think it's something to do with the window focus being incorrect. But maybe we can actually make our own dialog boxes for that. That would be better, so that it's always in the window. Okay, so the error that is popping up is chunk start X or start Z out of bounds. Yes. Okay, so let's find out where that's happening, and then we can figure out why it's happening, and then hopefully we can fix everything. Start X or start Z, that should be good enough. There we go. Easy way to find the location of an error. Just have unique error messages, Control F. Yes, you will, Tetrads. Just keep practicing. Alright, so P error happens when start X or start Z is less than 0. Now we should probably check if it's greater than the height max bounds too, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and put a breakpoint in here so I can see what the local variables are. I should probably run in debug mode. Let's do that. Debug mode takes a lot longer to load though. That's the only thing. So when you run in debug mode, it doesn't compile your code. I mean, it does compile your code. It doesn't optimize your code like release does. And when it optimizes your code, it's a lot harder to like see what the local variables are, because sometimes they get all changed around and then you can't actually know what they are. It runs a lot slower, but it's worth it. Hey, Jax Frank. Okay, so yeah, Jax Frank right there. Jax Frank is a new programmer. He's doing the input system. I wonder if my head bombing is in tune with the music. I bet it's not. I bet it looks like to y'all I'm out of sync. Because I think there's with Twitch, there's like a delay. Okay. So load that. Let's see if we get that error. Jax, yeah, I have actually looked at it. I haven't pulled it or tried it out yet, but I want to. I didn't get a breakpoint. I didn't get a breakpoint. Shouldn't I get a breakpoint? Maybe I have to click OK. Oh, this is a different one. Okay, so it's not a unique error message. I have two of these. It's probably an issue. So that's a design flaw, I bet. I bet this should be encapsulated in a function. Let's see, what is this? This is update load list. This is update generate list. So I think this is some common code that we could refactor here. That's what we're going to be doing in the stream. We're going to be doing a lot of refactoring and fixing this stuff. I think, got a text here. Gotta text the girlfriend. Okay, so here's where it's happening. It's happening in update generate list. Alright, so we grab the chunk, we set the update index and setup list pointer to 0. Same thing that happens here. We get start x start z. Okay, I see what this is. Okay, so what I have is actually two coordinate systems, and I need to probably rewrite this to be more readable, because I don't think any of the new programmers understand it yet, and I don't blame them. We have this HZ coordinate system and HX coordinate system. That's the actual position, like, on the rotatable grid that goes along the outside of the world cube. And it's a little mind-boggling, but that's where the issue is right now. So let's go ahead and run it again with the correct breakpoint so we can see what the locals are. I bet it's just an issue with the coordinates being out of range because HZ index and HZ are getting set differently. I changed a bunch of stuff, so it's not 3 AM yet, too early to refactor. Yes, annoy Jax. You don't have to annoy me anymore, Tetrads. Exceptions in C++. I mean, I personally don't use exceptions that much. You have to remember that exceptions are slow. That's not a reason to not use them per se. But I just personally don't really use them. I get around fine with just breakpoints, and usually if an error happens, you're gonna get a breakpoint when you're in debug mode, anyways. With exceptions, another issue is if you catch an exception and you throw it and you don't handle it properly, you could basically just accidentally throw away your exception, and then you'll never know there was a bug there. Whereas if you didn't have an exception at all, you would have gotten a crash and you would have noticed there. I just don't use it. Yeah, I mean, I've used exceptions in Java and stuff because you pretty much have to in Java, but I just don't do it in C++. But maybe I should. Alright, so we loaded it. HX and HZ is not fixed axis bound. Here we go. Can you explain what that means, MindRage? I'm not sure what you mean by fixed axis bound. Okay. Start X 2, start Z, -1. Can't be negative. Well, it's really close, so that's good. So what's happening is we are setting the HZ index, it seems, in the wrong direction, perhaps, when we shift the chunk. So it's definitely an issue with shifting, I believe. Let's see. So let's go to Shift Z. I rewrote all the shifting functions as well, so that's probably why there's some issues here. Now right here, HX plus X. Let's write this in a consistent fashion. Okay. HZ plus plus because we're going to the right, HZ minus minus because we're going to the left. And since we're going to the right, we're adding a new one at the end, CS grid with -1. And at the beginning, just HZ. Okay, that looks right. Let's see if we're doing it wrong in any of the other functions. HZ plus Z, HZ plus Z looks correct. Shift X, Z plus HZ should be HZ plus Z. Consistency is key. Alright. looks a little better. Maybe the face map is wrong. I don't think the face map's wrong. Could be though. Same thing here. HZ plus Z. Okay. Alright. Let's expand this a little bit. So where else are we calling this? That's right, we call it in expand all. Let's see. Initialize, I think. Initialize grid. Alright, so good. Alright. Alright, here's where we set HZ. That looks correct. When in doubt, pull up the old code that worked and see what the difference is. Love Bitbucket, or any repository system. We use Git with Bitbucket because they have free private repos, because you know we are closed source, even though I stream all my code pretty much. Source. Alright, let's go to the source code, and we're going to go to Chunk Manager, and let's take a look at the shifting code. Alright, it does the HZ and HX the same way. X does X, Y does nothing. Z does Z. Looks completely correct. Let's go to initialize chunks. Okay. Same thing, IJ. When for us it's ZX, because I changed from IJK to XYZ, or YZX, to make it easier to read. That should work. So we gotta figure out at what point is HZ incorrect? What point is it causing that? Because HZ is 1. Well, let's print out every time we shift, so we can see kind of what direction we're going. Shifting. Shift X deer, so I know the direction. 0 is left, 1 is right, or negative, positive. Pretty basic. If we look at this, we can probably tell who the culprit is, because I'm thinking it's one of the shifting functions, and I'm just not seeing what's wrong. If we need to, we can look at all points where the H coordinates. I need a better name for that. H, it was just an arbitrary letter. It shouldn't be that. It should be like, it's not grid, maybe grid position or something. I'm doing a lot of name refactoring too. But today's Saturday, tomorrow's Sunday. I don't have anything to do tomorrow, so other than we might play a little Civilization 5. But if we don't do that, and even if we do, I'll try to get a lot of programming done. I need to have a day where I do like 10 hours, 12 hours, and just fix all this stuff, because I've only been going at it about 2 hours at a time, and it's just not enough time. Alright. Oh yeah, so let me introduce all our new programmers. Oh, I want to also, before I do that, I want to see if, cool, we got the same error. Now what did we print? Shift Y, X, Z. So we shifted in every direction one time. And that's happening because it's not initializing our coordinates at the right spot. So that should be an easy fix. It looks like it needs to be, it's shifting in the positive direction for all three of them, which means I'm initializing the corner of the chunk world too far in the negative direction. I need to add 1 to that, and then it should be correct. It should be. Let's see if that stops us from shifting. That way we can easier pick apart which shifting thingy is causing it. Because right now, if all three are shifting, we can't tell which one's breaking it. Initialize grid. Calculate corner position, this right here. That's right. Okay, so we're taking the position of the center, which is like the player position. Then we subtract chunk width blocks, which is 32, times the width of the grid divided by 2. And it's an odd sized grid, so I think this is probably our problem. So we should do +1. Or plus 32, I guess, so we could put +1 out here. And that should stop the issue. Maybe. See if that works. Loads a lot slower in debug. When it does all the texture stitching, it's particularly slow, I guess because it's doing a lot of range checking on all of the arrays. And whenever you load images, it's array heavy because everything is stored in buffers. Okay. Let's see if we get a shift immediately like we did before. Cool, we didn't get a shift and it's not crashing. And it's generating very slowly, but it's generating. And incorrectly, of course, but the physics FPS is not frozen yet. So now we can... So I can't tell if this issue right here is because it's loading it from the file that had corrupted data, or if it's just generating it wrong, but I suspect it's probably a little bit of both, honestly. But that's okay, we're here to fix that. Every time I start a new stream, everything's broken. That's kind of fun. Alright, so let's move in... I don't know what directions are. Let's move a little bit. This is -z. Let's try -z. It's not shifting at all. It's not shifting at all in -z. Alright, what about +z? Alright, it shifted in +z, just didn't shift in -z. And we got the error after we shifted. Yes. Shift Z 1, good. Alright, so +z is breaking it. X is 10, that's fine. Z is -1 again. +z. Yeah, we went to the right, so HZ did increase, that's correct. Now the chunk at HZ0, that should be gone. It should have been popped off. So that must be the issue. It's not getting popped off correctly. Because when we shift to the right, all chunks to the left of it should be popped off and pushed to the other end. Alright, so let's leave that breakpoint there, it's kind of important. Let's look at Shift Z. So it's happening here. Push back a Z layer, swap it with the front to save memory. And here's where we pop front. This must be incorrect. When we swap it, it should swap all the contents. Let's see. Yeah, that just clears the... Okay, it could be that it's just in the generate list residually. It's not being removed from the generate list. I think that's the issue. I don't remember if when I rewrote all the list stuff, I don't remember if I added back in the code where you could actually pop off an existing chunk from the generate list. I bet that's the issue. So let's take a look here. Okay. If it's in the generate list, it's not in one of these threads. So this is going to happen. We're gonna call clear chunk. That's for sure. And when we call clear chunk, we are not in any of these situations. Looks like we're not removing it. Here's clear chunk from lists. Setup list. See, this should be happening. So this right here, this is what removes it from whatever list it's in, and including the generate list. Let's take a look at add to generate list. Yeah, that works. It's working. So can't be that. Interesting. So we set the pointer here. This is what tells us what list we're in. This is what tells us where we are in the list, so we can do a constant time lookup, just O of 1. And we add it to the list, and then once we clear the chunk, we call that clear from lists. Where did it go? Let's see. Clear from lists right here. We call this. And it makes sure that it's non-existent in any of the lists after we clear it. Supposed to. And alright, let's try to see why we're not shifting in the positive z direction, or the negative z direction ever. And actually, let's see what x does. Maybe we can narrow it down to a problem with z, because I'm looking at this code, nothing pops out to me right now. Yeah, it's generated with the CPU right now. But we have a working GPU noise implementation. Okay. Alright. Let's see if, okay, we do get Y shifting and we don't have issues with the generate list. It seems. Shift Y, Shift Y. This is cool. Look at that. Oh, we shifted in the Z direction. That's why it broke. Might just need to rewrite that Z thing to make sure I'm not doing something wrong. Oh yeah, I got sidetracked. How do I do this? I thought Twitch would. I thought I synced up Twitch to where it would tell people that I was streaming, but I guess not. So I gotta make a video. Alright. How long is that? 7 seconds? Let's make it 15 seconds. Whoops. I save all my movies to the pictures folder. Don't ask me why. Okay. Oh no, don't delete. Let's see how we do with negative Y shifting. Let's get the light up. Man, it generates slowly in debug mode. So it looks like when we Y shift, we're copying the data and we're not resetting the chunks. That's pretty obvious because you can see that these are like completely copied and pasted. It probably has something to do with the file loading because I had to rewrite some of the file loading coordinate stuff too. Ooh, no negative Y shift. Maybe no negative shifting is working. That would be okay, I bet that's it. Let's try negative X. What a surprise. We're not shifting in the negative direction. Well, that's easy to fix. Positive X, we should be. Yep. Ooh. X shifting is wrong too. Alright, I'm gonna go to the restroom. I'll be right back. And I'm back. And what the hell was I doing? Video. Open folder. And then I'm going to introduce the team members. And I'll do a video introducing them at some point, maybe like next week. Is this the right account? Sometimes I upload to the wrong account. I think it is. What did I call it? Live stream? Oh, this is a much better one. I already have a ready-made. I'll just start using. Wait, no, I think it has voice. I don't want to do that. Okay. Crap. Live stream.mp4. Bugfix stream 2 is live. And we gotta give them the link. Don't need to post to Twitter, I already did that. Publish. Notifications, yay! Nice. Oh yeah, Jermail is one of our programming interns. Okay, so yeah, let me introduce. I'll wait for more people to be on, because I think some people will probably come from YouTube. No. Okay, now what were we doing? Yeah, Daniel, this is the High Fidelity office in San Francisco. They let me use it on weekends and stuff to do my live streaming and my development. The internet is so much faster here. Like at my place, it's a lot harder to do this stuff. And they've got like a coffee machine and stuff, so I like coming here. And it's in the city, so there's like food places all over the place. And temp maps, yeah. Tetrad's actually suggested some really cool temperature distribution and humidity distribution stuff that we're going to try to probably implement. We're going to play around with that. Why is that load type not an enum? Load type? Kill me, yeah, it probably should be. Where is it? If I see something called load type, I'll know that you suggested that it should be an enum. Improvements. That's what. Hey Seb. Okay. Now. That's right, we're not shifting, so let's fix that first. So we need to go to update in Chunk Manager. Another thing I need to refactor, Chunk Managers has too much stuff. Look at how many freaking functions there are. It used to be bigger, it used to be like 6,000 lines of code. It's only 2,000 now, I think. I think I got rid of a lot, but it still has some work to do in that department. Maybe we can do that. Alright, update. Okay. So here's where we do -z. If the voxel position... Oh, this should be a plus. Ah, yeah. It should be... Okay. That's right. Const int... And we'll say distance thresh. God, naming conventions equals. Let's go with chunk width. I think that's what it should be. Should have just done that in the first place. Okay, so there's supposed to be a well, first of all, these are supposed to be plus, not minus. Second of all, there's supposed to be a distance threshold for shifting, and that's supposed to be negative when we're going left. Okay. Beautiful, and these should be plus. So that should fix the negative shifting thing. And you know what, I bet that's gonna... Remember how we added 1 to when we did the coordinates? I don't think we needed to do that. I think the distance threshold would fix that. So let's change that back the way it was, because it didn't really make sense to me when I was adding 1. So I don't think I was supposed to. The function is called calculate corner position. So this +1 right here, get rid of you. Alright, now let's run it. Now we should get positive or negative shifting as well as positive shifting, and it should be shifting more correctly. Center offset. Yeah. Run. Yeah, Seb, I wore contacts to the party last night, and I had to sleep in my contacts tonight because I didn't bring contact solution or glasses or anything. I usually don't wear contacts because glasses are just so much easier, and I'm kind of lazy with that. Yeah. Chunk needs to be massively refactored. Yes. Let me show you guys, so you can laugh at me. You're gonna be like, "You wrote this? What is wrong with you?" It's okay. I am ashamed, I know. Look at this. See this? This is a class. Beautiful, isn't it? Every time I look at it, it makes me cringe a little inside. This is the culmination of A, being lazy, and being the only programmer and not having to care about other people reading it, and B, making the most of this class when I was a lot younger, 2 years ago. I only learned to program 3.5 years ago, so a lot has changed since I wrote this class. But I've just been kind of following the old crappy convention of just doing it all wrong. But maybe that's what we should do today, if we fix these bugs. Hip chat. How do I... Where is hip chat? Is that hip chat? There we are. Let's quit. Log out. Okay. Is that's negative Z. I don't want to go that way. I know it's going to crash. Here's positive X. Did we get immediate shifts? No. Good. Yeah, the threshold. Ah! Alright. Positive X. Cause the error. Interesting. Did I get rid of the breakpoints on that? Let's put the breakpoints back. I'm not feeling this song. I like this one. I can already tell that I like this one. We'll just leave that right there. Hey, Red Panda. I look better with glasses. Gee, thanks. I guess I should wear glasses. How do you store the volumetric data? I've seen it where you could speed a lot by sparsely compressing on the y-axis only. Well, we do store everything in a completely flat array right now. It's not compressed. When we save it to file, though, we do RLE compression, and we do it based. We iterate through the slabs first. So slabs will get compressed together, and it's more efficient that way because slabs are more likely to be all the same than a vertical column. But we still compress upwards too, we just compress outwards first. And what we want to do is do RLE compression in our normal data storage, not just when we save it to file, and that'll give us a bigger view distance and stuff. I think I talk about that like every time we stream. I just haven't played around with that yet because there's just a bunch of other stuff we got to do first. Okay, here we go. Definitely not a breakpoint there. Where's the other one? I know there's two. There's the other one. Okay. Okay, all you guys who don't know about this subreddit, this is the Voxel Game Dev subreddit. Subreddit is right here at the top, just Voxel Game Dev. It's pretty easy to remember. Come here and subscribe and post stuff. Today we started like a new screenshot Friday things or whatever. It's called Voxel Vendretti. You can come here and post about things, look at what other people have been doing. I haven't posted to this one, but yeah, definitely do that if you're into voxel game development, if you want to see what all the other devs are doing. Okay. Man, debug mode is so slow. Positive X. Let's get that crash. There it is. Let me guess. -1 X. So positive shifting period is screwing this up. Huh, why? Let's take a look at the shift. Ooh, don't do that. Okay, let's look at the shift X. It's got to be something somewhere else that I'm not thinking of, like something simple. Can machines support RLE compression? Yes. Yes, they can. Okay. So, alright, when we shift in the positive X direction, we iterate through a YZ slice. We pop everything off the back, push it onto the front, because it's like a 3D cube of chunks and we're moving it to the right. So, here we push back. So this is my left, but you're right. We push back chunks on this side. And what we're doing is pushing back a copy of the chunk slot on this side. And a chunk slot includes a chunk pointer and some other things. So we're just taking that, we're copying it here to reserve memory, so we don't have to call new or delete, and it's pretty quick. Then we free the chunk that exists here. And that's correct. So we free the chunk. And then we pop it off. We pop the chunkless thing off. And then we initialize this. It's pretty straightforward. So it should be working correct. Unless this isn't doing something correctly. Only in like the worst case scenario, a lot will have to be uncompressed. If somebody's doing a lot of huge physics, then what we can do is if we notice that we're reaching a memory barrier, we reduce the render distance. We just, make it smaller, and we can even, warn the player about that. But there's going to be a way around it. I think we should still do it. It's the fact that the worst case scenario won't work doesn't mean we shouldn't do it at all. What we should do is just try to make it so that the worst case scenario is fail-safe. For instance, reducing the render distance, stopping some physics even. Would like to avoid that though, so probably just reducing the render distance would be the best idea. In fact, I think what we might actually do is make it so you can only do water physics within a certain distance anyways. So you'll load more chunks that are pretty far away, but we won't be doing water physics there, just because it seems like too much for water physics. I don't know if we'd be able to do it, but that's not important right now. What's important is this. So what I'm going to do is, after we do a positive shift in the positive x, I'm going to iterate all of the chunks that exist in a chunk slot and see if any of them have an HZ value of 0. If they don't, then the issue is they're not being removed from the generate list, and I think that's pretty clear. Oh, not all chunks. Is it all chunk slots? Yes. So I actually store chunk slots in a one-dimensional array, and the three-dimensional DQ basically just has pointers to that array. So if I need to iterate it very quickly, I can iterate it in a super cache-friendly way and just iterate all the chunk slots, which are stored contiguously in memory. It's a neat little trick. So if that dot, so IPOS is going to be Z. Wait a second. I is X. That might be the issue. Maybe I've got these wrong. I thought I would be Z, not X. That's probably the issue. Let's take a look at the old repository code. Alright, so let's go to Shift X. Bet you this is it. Okay, so here that's how we used to do it. Is it IJ or JI? It's IPOS, JPOS. So this is saying I is X and J is Z. I is X. Aha! That's the thing. I switched it in the refactoring. So this was inconsistent. This is another bit of code that needed to really be changed. I was using X as the I position and Z as the J position, but it should have been the other way around to be consistent with everything else in the game. So that solves that, I believe. All we gotta do is flip those around and it should stop crashing, at least from that. So let's delete that. Should not have to print that out anymore. And that would make sense, because what's happening is we're not fixing the Z. Okay, yeah, that's definitely it. Alright, so we just gotta copy this, move it right there. And we gotta do this for all of them. Underscore HX. Alright, that's positive X, negative X is here. Okay, Y direction. Yeah, that's gonna work, I believe. Okay, that's Y, and finally Z. This could be actually why all of the chunks were generating incorrectly, because if they have incorrect, which means we should probably look. I bet the initialization of this is wrong everywhere. So I'm going to go ahead and look at the initialized chunks thing too. I bet that's the issue with why they're all messed up. So cool, this might actually fix a lot of bugs at once. Alright, so now we need to go to initialize grid, right here. Is it initialize grid? Or initialize chunks? I think it's initialize chunks, actually. Yeah. There you are. And let me guess. Okay, no, this is correct. This is saying ZX. IJZX. Okay, let's see what happens. And let's make a new save. Actually, no, we'll use the same save. I'll just delete the region file. Because I don't want to spawn in the ocean and have to fly around. Hey, monkey. Monkey. Triangles for a chunk. Use geometry shader, check each pixel on a 3D texture, and decide when to generate a triangle. You can also do the noise and all. Yeah. Geometry shaders aren't compatible, and you're doing a lot. With that, you'd have to be basically generating your mesh in the geometry shader every frame, when instead you could just send the mesh to the GPU in a VBO one time, and then all you got to do is draw it, and then the shader's really simple. So I think your method would actually not be faster. I think it would probably actually be slower in most cases. Yeah, we're trying to avoid geometry shaders, though we may use geometry shaders for some procedurally generated grass because it seems the best way to do it, and just make it so that you can disable that. Okay, well that didn't fix the weird generation, but perhaps it fixed the other stuff. At least we're not getting floating chunks. Looks like it's gotta be just the coordinates. We'll take a look at that after we do this. What did I just do? Huh. Oh, cool. So if you press Control, it used to zoom. Now it doesn't zoom because I changed the code and never fixed it, but it slows down your camera movement as if you were zoomed. Not that interesting to y'all, but that's okay. Hey, Leslie Cat, good to see you again. Alright, okay, we need... I got it right again, positive X. Let's get some shifting and see if it crashes. Please don't crash. Ah! Well, this is a different crash, so we fixed something. Or we broke something. Retry, where did we crash? Okay, so this is out of bounds. This is why we probably should have checked. Oops, that's confusing. I need to change the naming. Okay, so this should have happened. Now it will happen again if we run it again. Aiming down sights with control. Yeah, that's so what's happening here is the HZ index is 11, which it should never be because the size of the grid is 11, so it should only go to 10 because it's 0 indexed. Let's see if we ever shifted Z or if we only shifted X. It looks like we only shifted X. Only shifted X. Shift X. Oops. Ugh. I went too far. Oh my god. There we go. Okay. We shifted in the positive X direction. So this HZ plus Z. That can't be right. What does HZ equal to? 0. Well, I don't think that's giving me exactly correct output. So how could it become 11? We may have to put that print stuff in that I was about to do. Because Z goes from 0 to 10, so at most you're going to get, right here, you're going to get 0 plus 10, which is 10, not 11, with Shift X. Let's run it again, even though we're going to get the same thing, just while I think. There we go. Bugfix. Less tearing, among other things, I guess. I'm not prioritizing less tearing right now. I'm prioritizing fixing everything I broke when I refactored. Oh, speaking of which, did that YouTube video go up? Yes. Okay. Video manager. They changed the layout of YouTube. It's a little different now. Improve this video. I don't need to improve it. 4 views. Perfect. Ah, yes. I was gonna do the thing where I showed you all about the new team members. So here's the team page. Right now Nathan isn't on the page anymore because Matthew accidentally deleted him from the page, but he'll fix it. So here's our 4 new people right here. We have Christian Zalodge, guy from Cornell. We have Brian Bruggerman, software engineer. He is the basically senior programmer, I guess, right now. He's not going to be able to give us a lot of time because he's got a full-time job doing other stuff, and I'm pretty sure he's busy with other things too. But he's really experienced, and he's already been able to help us a whole lot because he just knows a lot about programming, and he knows a lot about software engineering. So he's helping us in that aspect for sure, and I'm sure he'll have a lot to say about my code. Jeremy Fisher, intern programmer. Both of these intern programmers are like really good programmers. They're just both young, and we haven't really seen what they can do so far. So they're technically interns, but we'll probably make them full programmers at some point. So yeah, Jeremy and Frank are our 2 intern programmers. Frank is working on the input manager, so we can do key bindings. Christian right now is working on a chunk recycling thing, and Jeremy I think is just still looking through the code, and Brian I haven't given him access yet, mostly because I don't want him to tell me how bad my code is yet until I've had a chance to fix some of it, but I'll probably give him access pretty soon. And yep, that's the new team members. So I was running it again. Load this. Why did I change the coordinate system? Because it was wrong before, it wasn't consistent. I needed to change it to be consistent and understandable. Okay, that's positive X. Look at that beautiful mountain. Look at that high quality level of detail. In release mode it loads a lot faster, but in debug mode it can't keep up, so you just get this really nasty terrain until it's all done loading. Okay, so yeah, we were gonna fly until it crashes. There it goes. Alright. Start Z 11. HZ index 11. HC 0. Alright, it looks like we're about to have to put some print statements in. Okay. Didn't want to have to do that. I wanted it to just work. I always do. Alright, Shift X. We'll just do it right here, and we'll do it after. We'll do a before after. So we're scanning the whole thing and checking for it to be equal to 11. Hmm. Okay. Really? Well, first of all, I killed that breakpoint again. It's like a habit. But IPOS was never 11? Oh, you know what? Ah, okay. Crap, that's not what it is. What did the error message say? Believe. Let's put that there. Oh, okay, Christian. Yeah, we need to do that. I haven't made one. So, this is important. Our random engine needs to be able to have the main random stuff will be the Mersing Twister 1997, and then we want, or 19937, whatever it is. And we also want the ability to do murmur hash for pseudo random numbers. Murmur hash, that's how it's spelled. So Google that. I got a suggestion from a YouTuber about that, and it seemed like a really good idea, because right now we have my own pseudo-random function that I found somewhere that's not good. It's really repeating, and it's a terrible random function, so... Okay, great. So yeah, Mersing Twister for most of it, and kick-ass. Yeah, so we'll want to replace all the rand calls with that, and I can do that. You don't need to replace the rand. Just you push your Mersing Twister function thing, and I'll do the actual replacement of all the other stuff, because some of the random generation code is really ugly looking, and I don't want you to have to look at that, so I'll take care of it for you. God, it's cool having other programmers, man. It's like, okay, I need to do this. Oh, somebody else just did it. Kick ass. Love it. Alright. Oh, man. Alright, so let's go make it crash. There we go. 11! Okay. Oh. 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 Yes. Yes. I know it's wrong. About to fix it, though. Cool. Go to... get rid of this. We don't need you. We don't need you. So this... yeah. Go to definition. IPOS, JPOS are being mapped to IPOS, JPOS. Where does the chunk set its HZ index and HX index? They should be HZ is equal to IPOS, HX is equal to JPOS. So here is a bad design. We have both I and J and X and Z. They should be uniform. So that's something I gotta fix. Man, at every turn I see something that's wrong, but you know, at least we're noting it and we can fix it. So we got to see where chunk it sets its HZ index and HX index, because they're backwards. I bet this is it right here. XZ. Yeah. So I bet you anything if we just swap this around to ZX, that'll fix it. That's all we got to do. And that matches the convention of going YZX. We iterate, instead of going XYZ, we go YZX. Oh, whoops. We go YZX for better compression. Because like I said, we want to iterate through the slabs when we generate, or when we compress. And there's some optimizations that I won't go into that work a little better when you're generating if you go by slab. For instance, once you, if you're generating a surface chunk, and you get above the highest height map point, you know there's going to be air above you, so you don't have to do any more checking against the height map. You just set everything to air. There's stuff like that you can do if you iterate that way. And that's not going to really give you a boost, but you know, might as well do it. It's going to give you a little boost. Oops. Fearless. Whoa. Look at all those people. Ginjeft is here. Everybody say hi to Ginjeft. He makes YouTube videos whenever we play like Minecraft and stuff. I think he made one today. I wasn't there because I was programming. So go ahead and Ginjeft, post a link to your channel so people can see it. Alright, let's load this. Oh, you know what? I bet that's what was causing the train to generate wrong, too. Because Z and X were backwards. So, oh, look at that. Look at how correct it is. That was it. It's generating correctly. Kick-ass. Alright, let's walk in this direction and see if it crashes. Don't crash! Come on! I believe in you. Okay. We shifted once. Sorry, we're getting there. We're making progress. Oh, this. Which one is wrong? X is -1. Damn. 32, 0. Why are we calling... So we're shifting in the X direction, and then we're calling setup neighbors on a chunk that shouldn't exist anymore. Because the position of this chunk is 0, and it shouldn't be in existence. Okay. Well, yeah. Update loaded chunks. I wonder if this is something that's actually been around for a while, and it's not something that I introduced. Because this chunk came from the generate thread pool. So it was in another thread when we called clear. Free waiting. This would stop it. This free waiting bool. So let's make sure this is getting set. Clear chunk. Free waiting equals 0. Alright, what about free chunk? Right here, free waiting equals true. First of all, I'm trying to get out of the C habit of typing 1 instead of true and false. It's a lot more clear. So in generate thread should be true. Let's check and make sure this is getting set to true when we add it to the generate list. Update generate list, I believe. Which is where? This is what happens when your thing is too big. There it is. Ah! It doesn't look like... Well, maybe this does it right here. Ah, yeah, this does it right here. Okay. Let's, yeah, let's crash it again, see if it happens consistently after 2 X shifts. And then we can try different directions and see. Yeah, Orbitron is awesome. Back to the thing. There we go. When code doesn't work, I immediately understand why. When it does, I can't figure out why. Hey Pop-Up Hater, you are part of the community. You all are. And you don't even have to visit the streams to be part of the community. Just comment on the forums. I don't have a big presence on the forums, but a lot of the other team members do. IRC I've been trying to be on more. I just have so many things I'm doing. Jiawa's making his own voxel engine. That's pretty cool stuff. I want to show it to you. Actually, I'll wait for him to be in the... Is he here? Let's see. If he's here, I want to totally show you guys his voxel engine. No, he's not here. But if he comes here, let me know so I can totally show it to you. Because he's making a... I believe he's the guy making something similar to Cube World as far as graphics goes. And it looks really cool. I think it's all in C#. Could be wrong. It's been a while since I looked at that, but it's pretty neat. Alright, let's get it to crash. 1. Alright, so that was 1 X shift. Let's see if it crashes. I'm just going to sit here. Whoa. It's doing that thing again. Again, I think this is a problem with loading. That's so cool. As you can see, it's clearly copy-pasting chunks along the y-axis. Neat. But only where trees generated. That's how you know it's an issue with saving and loading. Because whenever you generate a tree, you have to save it just for reasons of a tree can cross-mesh boundaries, so it depends on the order you load it in. So we just save all trees. And as you can see, it's wrong, and it's simply because of the saving, definitely. So that's what we'll fix next. Whoa, mesh missing neighbors. 6 mesh missing neighbors. 6 mesh missing neighbors. Missing... Okay. That's an issue, first of all. Let's crash it. Okay, it didn't crash, so it's not a deterministic little crashing thing. Let's see if... Oh god, I hope it's not a rare bug. Those are the hard ones. If you can't get it to happen over and over again, it's really hard to fix. Oh no. It's not happening. Well, first of all... Okay. Look at the border of the chunk world. That's not correct. It's shifting, but the chunks are... Oh god, where are they? They're probably out in oblivion somewhere. What if we go the opposite direction? Oh, yeah. Okay, let's investigate this error message, missing neighbors. Okay, retry. Shut up. Alright. Oh cool, it happened here. First, let's see what that error message is. This should be an assert. I need to start using more assertions. For those of you that don't know, an assertion basically just crashes your code if the assertion fails. Assert. There. It'd be kind of neat if you could... Can you add a message to it? I don't know what that does. Like I'm trying to see if you can add a debug message. It doesn't look like you can. Alright, so we'll do an assert. Okay, so the issue... Set up mesh data. This is a big function. I don't like this function. I should refactor it. Where does this get called? Thread pool. Cool. Yeah, this happens. Okay. Add render job. Cool. Yep, right here. So this... here's the issue. the number of neighbors we have is 6. However, one of them is null, which should not, that doesn't make sense. It's not supposed to be happening at all. So something's definitely wrong here. Let's go to setup neighbors. I probably messed something up here. Oh. Well. But this is it. No. Clear chunk from list removes all of the neighbors. Left, right, top, bottom, back, front equals null. Yes. And we decrement all our neighbors' counters. Do we call this anywhere else? No. Oh, how is this happening? There's so many things that can go wrong to cause this. Well, we were going in the right direction, so maybe it's the X direction that's wrong. Because I did change this code. Left X minus 1, right X plus 1, back Z minus 1, front Z plus 1. Bottom Y minus 1, top Y plus 1, that's all correct. Top, bottom, front, back, right, left. Yeah. That's gotta be correct. Not sure what that's about. Let's try a different direction. See if it's consistent with all directions. We'll try negative Z. Yep. Yeah, I'm actually going to be making another tutorial tonight, I think, the next challenge. I've been putting it off for the past 3 days because I've been really busy with stuff, and we just took on a bunch of new programmers, so I haven't had time to do it. I was going to try to make one last night, but it didn't end up happening. So I'll try to do a challenge video today. I think we're going to do a 2D combat simulator instead of a 1D combat simulator, and we can actually build off of the code we made for our ASCII roguelike. Since we already have code for loading a map, we could just basically make that work to where you load a map that has like 2 armies of different troops and they duke it out and kill each other, and really cool stuff. And we're gonna have to work pointers in because it's got to be a pointer challenge. You know, it's gotta help you with your pointer practice. Hello tree. That's X, positive X. So this is negative Z. No, it's not. That's positive Z. Negative X. Oh, I got turned around. No, I didn't. Hold on. That's negative X. Wait a second. That's... I'm getting confused here. Let's make sure we're shifting in the right direction. I'm going in the negative X direction. We should get a shift 0. Shift X negative 1, or that. Assertion failed. Oh, cool. It gives you the line number and everything. That's right. Sorry, I'm just thinking how this could be happening. Notice the rendering thread keeps going, and you can still move around and stuff. It's just the physics thread is frozen. Huh. Man. Okay. Gotta do something productive here. Let's, how could this be happening? Well, it's definitely something to do with shifting. Very true, pop-up hater. The variable can be locked, not causing it to be changed. No, this is a thread safe. This neighbors variable, it only gets changed by chunk manager, which runs on a single thread. A lot of this stuff only, like, just to prevent issues like that and prevent using locks everywhere that slow it down. Everything is, all the communication between the OpenGL thread and the main physics thread is done with a circular message queue that's lock-free, and it's super fast, and there's almost no contention. Like, there's probably a few thread issues that I haven't looked at. There might be some race conditions, but this can't be one of them, because the only time this neighbors variable is accessed is in the main thread. Hey, potato chip. Oh, if and def, if not defined, debug, assert, condition message. Oh, cool. Yeah, you're right. PIRC from the Windows App Store for Twitch chat. You can have it as a sidebar. What? What is this? What does that stand for? Windows App Store. That would be so useful. Yeah, I don't like Win8 either. Windows App Store. I've never even used the Windows App Store. I don't even use this thing. I can't. I don't have time for this. I'll try to do that later. Wow. How is this even happening? Well, first of all, not that it matters, but we're going to use the correct null pointer, not null. There we go. That won't fix it. That's just oh, here's another one. Yeah. Windows Internet Explorer. Okay, so I'm just sitting here thinking and not coming up with anything. So let's try the Z direction, because X obviously crashes it. How could this be happening? I'm not sure how it could be happening. But I definitely did something when I was refactoring that caused it to happen. Let's try Z direction. I'm sure I overlooked something simple like I always do. Okay. Where's X? That's negative X. Ugh. That's positive Z. Sure, let's go positive Z. Cool. Shift Z works. Wow, Z shift works. Like flawlessly. That flickering is quite annoying. I'd like to get to the bottom of that soon. I know I have a really good idea of what's causing it. Okay. Good, it's not happening in every direction. That makes me happy. That means I did something right. Alright, Z, positive Z looks flawless. Let's try negative Z. Let's try to stay inside a chunk so we don't accidentally shift in the X direction and break it. Uh-oh. Oh, it's working. Okay. Again, just the saving thing. Not sure about that one. Huh. Okay. Z direction works. What about Y direction? Oh, that flickering. Gonna give me a headache. Ugh. And that's actually the LOD, you can actually see. The level of detail, quad tree terrain. Flickering. These things are just gonna go up infinitely. That's so cool. Alright, let's go back down. Positive Y obviously works. Oh my god, stop flickering. Anyways, what I think is causing it is the horizon culling, or the frustum culling, but I'm pretty sure it's the horizon culling. It's causing it to like randomly think it's on the other side of the horizon. Oh yeah, that's shifting too. Need to fix that. That's a threading issue. The frustum is like updating independently of... don't worry about it. I don't really know. Okay. Okay, cool. Now let's break it by shifting in the X direction. Ah! Immediately. Good. That narrows it down a lot. Ooh. This is a new crash. Oh. What is that? Z is equal to 11. What are you doing, X direction? What on earth are you doing? Schroden chunky. Czaloj, or Christian, the chunks and the LODs don't communicate, so it's not that. They're completely unaware of each other. Shift X. It's gotta be it. Shift X. Let's compare you with Shift Z a little bit. Alright. Alright. Am I gonna just have to look through this? There it is. That was fast. No, that's not it. That's correct. Never mind. I got excited for a second. ZX. YZ. YZ 0. Chunk width. Free chunk. So maybe this is the issue. This free chunk is getting called in the wrong thing. I'm just gonna... I don't think this is gonna make a difference. Unless I'm misunderstanding this. But, this should be correct too. see what happens. A chunk is in a quantum state of uncertainty. We're still in debug mode, aren't we? It's probably for the best. Okay. Yeah. Wow. Is that really the reason? Good God. Negative. Ah. Ah. Yeah. I think that's it. Now let's run it. I didn't have to take chemistry. Haha, Christian. Physics is so much cooler. Matthew's got my back on that one. But yeah, just so y'all know, Matthew, our web developer or designer or whatever, he is a physics nerd big time. He knows his physics, which comes in handy a lot, honestly. I go to him for my math help for sure, and he always helps me out. He always knows. Let's see here. Nah. Wow, we got a lot of people. It's growing. Can I get a count? 32, kick ass. Minimize. 2 classes of physics. I took 3, so I basically substituted one of my physics classes for chemistry, or the other way around. Okay. Positive X, where are you? This? That's negative. This is positive. That LOD makes it so difficult. Looks like that fixed it. Yes. Wait, yes. Yes! Alright. Now the true stress test. Let's fly around really fast and see if it crashes. This will be... okay. The chunk grid is reinitializing. See that it doesn't follow you because it would have to shift the grid a whole lot, so if you fly really fast it just completely disappears and comes back. It's much faster than trying to shift it. So basically when I'm flying at this speed, I'm mostly just completely disconnected. See, it tries to pop in every now and then, but for the most part it's just not existent where I am at all until I stop, and then it pops in and starts loading chunks. Ah! Abort. Ooh, where did this happen? In the recursive sorting. Ooh, no, that's not. Oh, it was an assertion failure. Okay, this is weird. Sometimes this happens. It like there's like a corruption or something, and it causes the call stack to be wrong. Because we get setup mesh data here, we get that we got an assertion failure, and then it says it keeps going, and then it's suddenly in sort chunks. So this is completely bullshit call stack right here. This is not. I don't know if that's Visual Studio's fault or just the fact that I'm somehow corrupting the stack, which I don't think an assertion would corrupt the stack. Anyways, let's run in release mode, and we'll ignore that bug for now since that seemed to be a little more rare, and let's focus on fixing that loading and saving bug where it duplicates chunks in the Y direction. And then we're getting close to having functional code that I can push to the master branch so everybody else can pull it. And we can, after that, I'll be able to merge, maybe I could do that on the stream. I could merge the input manager and the recycler, the chunk recycler. Merging those is going to cause conflicts, I'm sure, because I changed a bunch of stuff. So I'll show you how we fix conflicts. How I fix conflicts. Probably not the best way, but that's how I do it. So let's see. Yeah, I did look at these, and it looks good. George is adding some textures. I'm going to want to merge these. I want to see George's connected textures. So far, we've only had connected textures from Andreas in the connected texture, or in the alternate pack. So now we have them in both packs. Some of them, at least. I imagine they take a long time to make, but maybe there's a method that makes it easier. I love that atmospheric scattering. Really do. You can see a lattice pattern in those mountains that looks a little too, well, I guess it's fine. I'm excited to actually have some GPU noise so we could get normal maps. This is going to look a lot better once we have that. Guarantee it. It'll look really cool. What am I doing? I should. Well, I don't want to get that crash, so I'm just gonna fall so that we don't go too fast. See how fast our chunks generate? They're quick. Still aren't outrunning it. Alright. Beautiful. We're in a big crater. Alright, let's save it. And we'll load it. Actually, let's go and just look at the code. It might be pretty obvious where the issue is. So, world.io.h and world.io.cpp. Alright. I'm going to have to remember what all this does because I didn't put comments in. No curse words. Alright. Looks like this is wrong. That doesn't look right at all. No, that is correct. Well, first of all, this should be floor. I've made that mistake before. So divide the position by 32, which is should be chunk width. Not that it matters because we are never changing the chunk width, but in case we wanted to, we should save it like this. Looks correct. Now that's not going to be what's causing the bug. It's going to be happening in save or load. Here, this is already correct. That's good. First of all, oh, that's right. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, I changed this and did it wrong. That's right. Just out of curiosity, let's look at how it was working before I changed it, so that I don't do it wrong. I got rid of this modulo 16. I did. Yep. Got it. Okay. I was dividing by 16 instead of modulo 16. That's correct. Wait. Yes. See if that fixed it. Let's delete our region. Now it should load and save correctly. There's a bug so I can't really test it perfectly. You can't place or remove blocks, so let's do that too. At least I don't think you can. You might be able to now. Let's see if you can. Maybe fixing all those other bugs fixed it. No, it didn't. I can't. Alright. So let's walk in this direction for a little bit and come back. All the trees. Good God. Is that a Stack Overflow? No, it did it again. Assertion failed. Why is that assertion failure happening? I shifted in X, Y, and Z. Why is that failing? That's a huge issue. It's not good. Well, first of all, that's not where it's happening. It's happening here. I had render job. Set up mesh data. Hold on, I'm getting a call. Testing, testing. Okay. Alright. feel like once we get this one done, it's gonna be good. Because this is the crash that happened before as well. So this is the only time we get a neighbors plus plus. It happens twice for each. Yes. Okay. Okay. Where is this happening? Ooh. I think I see what's wrong. This is the only place I could see this causing that issue, is where we're setting all the pointers to null, but we don't set neighbors to 0. And if we're reusing this chunk and it's getting initialized incorrectly, then that could be the issue. So let's see if that stops the crash. And we can also at the same time check and see if our file loading stuff works correctly, and I haven't checked Twitch chat in a little while. How many zeros is that? 100 million in 3 seconds? Wow. Faster is... but it's a lot faster. Mersing Twister is like the best. There's better algorithms if you want it to be, I forget what it was called, but there's another algorithm you can use, or another random engine you can use that makes it so that it's like encryption safe or something, where if somebody's looking at the output of your random number generator, they can't possibly figure out what random generator you're using and reverse engineer it. Whereas with the Mersing Twister, they can do that because it has a repeating pattern. It's just really, I guess it's a really good pattern. Rand uses a service. Oh. Yeah, wow. That's oh my god, that's kind of sad. All right. Oh. Ah, what? Alright, let me try something else. One sec. Do asserts significantly slow down the program? Do not use assertions.